Hello everyone, it's Becca from BEKAHBOOKSANDBUJO, and welcome to episode 5 of Pack It or Pass It. Episode 5 is going to be a little bit different than the others because we are going to go through two different genres. So we are going to look at my nonfiction shelf, which is up above me, and my classics shelf, which is down here. I decided to combine these because I don't feel like I will want to read a chapter of most of them. I feel like I have a vibe already for them if I want to keep them, pack them, or if I want to pass on them. So we'll see as we go through the titles if there are any that I want to try a chapter, but mostly I feel like my gut instinct will tell me exactly what I want to do with the book. So let's just rearrange here a little bit so we can get closer to the nonfiction books. We didn't get that much closer, but it's closer for me to be able to reach them. Okay, so first up we have Orange is the New Black, My Year in a Women's Prison by Piper Kerman. I loved this Netflix series when it came out, and I don't know how close the Netflix series stuck to this memoir from Piper Kerman. I think because there's so much to read and I've already kind of consumed this story in a way through the Netflix series, I'm gonna pass on this one. We're gonna be ruthless this time around. Okay, this is The Song Poet by Kaukalia Yang. It's a memoir of this author's father, and I actually have her memoir too, The Late Homecomer, among family memoir. And I believe that Kaukalia Yang is from Minnesota. I would love to know more about her story, so I'm going to pack these two. We're just gonna set them on this side of Minnesota. Paddle Your Own Canoe by Nick Offerman. I'm gonna pack this one. I love Nick Offerman. He is hilarious as Ron Swanson in Parks and Recreation, and I just feel like I will enjoy this one. Plus, I think my husband still needs to read this one, so it would be cruel of me to pass on this, and he wouldn't get an opportunity to read it. But I also would like to read it. I think he's hilarious, and I want to see how his comedy shines through in his writing. The Devil in the White City. Do you remember from episode 1 where I moved this book from my historical fiction shelves to my nonfiction? This is by Erik Larson. The subtitle is Murder, Magic, and Madness at the Fair That Changed America. So this is about the World's Fair in Chicago in 1893, at least the start of it. It's more narrative nonfiction, I think, because it says that Erik Larson combined meticulous research with nail-biting storytelling. I feel like this is a book I should read, and I told myself I don't want to should on myself. I don't want to should on myself. So I think I'm gonna pass. I know that some people may be upset about that, but also, if I were to ever read this one, I think I would likely listen to it, so I don't need the physical copy. I don't need to move it. Okay, I convinced myself. We're passing on it. Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. I have always been intrigued by this story. However, I feel like I could get the gist from the movie, and so I feel like I'm going to pass on it. I just have never really felt the desire to pick up the book, and I want books on my shelves that I really desperately want to read, so I'm going to pass on this one too. And again, if I want to read it in the future, I would likely just get it from my library. Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer is one that I'm going to pack immediately. This is about indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and the teaching of plants. I've heard that it is just a really great nonfiction about indigenous people and their world and life, and so I am wanting to keep it so that I can kind of improve my knowledge on that culture. This next one is called Made Known Loved by Ross Murray. The subtitle is Developing LGBTQ Inclusive Youth Ministry. Now, I love the idea of this book, but I am not in youth ministry anymore as a career. I used to be a youth director at a church, and so I think I might pass this on to my church. I'm gonna hand it off to the people who work in youth ministry, and hopefully they could take some of the lessons from this book and use it in their youth ministry there. But I personally don't feel like I need to learn the lessons that this book teaches, so passing. The next one I have here is called The Case for Grace. A journalist explores the evidence of transformed lives by Lee Strobel. I've heard about this one. I know that this was gifted to me from my flute professor in college. Yeah, look at this. May 2017 when I graduated from college. She wrote here that it's a favorite of hers, and this is the latest of Lee Strobel's books. I do love stories of grace, and I feel like this could be a good one. And because it was gifted to me, I feel like I should give it a try because it was one of my favorite professor's favorite books. So I'm going to pack on this a little tentatively, but still, I feel like in the future I could enjoy it. I also think this is one Willie might want to read. Maybe we could read it together. Who knows? Next up, we've got The Secret Lives of Booksellers and Librarians, True Stories of the Magic of Reading by James Patterson and Matt Eversman. I'm packing this one for sure. I will love to read these stories, I think. So yeah, this is going in the boxes. Next up is Grunt, The Curious Science of Humans at War by Mary Roach. I really like Mary Roach as an author. I have read Bonk by her. I have read Stiff, I think. She just takes topics and like deep dives into them. And I'm curious. So I am going to keep this one. I feel like they're easy to read and you learn so much from what she writes about. So I'm going to pack this one. Next up, we have Notes from a Blue Bike by Tish Oxenrider. The subtitle is The Art of Living Intentionally in a Chaotic World. I am going to pack this one. I got this one from my friend Molly, and I think she really enjoyed it. I'm all about living intentionally, especially with 3 kids and our busy lifestyle. I want to take the time to slow down and enjoy life, and I hope that this one could give me some ideas on how to do that. So, packing this one. Next up, we have Escape from the Deep by Alex Kershaw, a true story of courage and survival during World War II. My husband actually already read this one and really enjoyed it. I feel like I would like this narrative nonfiction style of writing, and sounds like a very thrilling story. So I'm gonna pack this one. This is Voices of a People's History of the United States in the 21st Century, Documents of Hope and Resistance, edited by Anthony Arnove and Haley Pessin. I'm going to have to be in the right mood to read this one, but I do want to keep it for 2 reasons. One, I feel like the topic is very pertinent to things going on in today's world. And 2, I was gifted this from my mom, and actually my sisters also got a copy of this book, so we could all talk about it in the future when we all decide to read it. But yes, I am going to pack this one. Next up, How to Hug a Hedgehog, 12 Keys for Connecting with Teens. My husband gave me this book when I worked with teenagers at church. And even though I don't do that anymore, I still think I want to keep this one because I will have teenagers in the future. So maybe I won't read it in the imminent future, but I am going to pack it and read it eventually. Got a little helper here now.
What is this?
I don't know. Those are cards. Do you want to open it? Next up, we have Meditation for the Modern Family. This is over 100 practices to help families find peace, calm, and connection. I am going to keep this one. This was gifted to me from our children's coordinator at our church. Now that I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom and we're going to spend a lot of time together as a family, I feel like this could help us just, find the calm in the chaos as a family. And then Theo is opening the cards that came with this. Mindful in Minutes, a deck of cards to help us with this venture. So these go together. I'm going to keep them both. Next up, we have Where the Wind Leads by Vin Chung. This is a refugee family's miraculous story of loss, rescue, and redemption. I was very recently given this one by my friend Jane, and so I'm keeping this one. She said it was a really great refugee story. I was looking for one that was better than a novel that I had read earlier this year, so I'm gonna pack this one and hopefully it works for me. Next up is Mom Jeans, Inside the New Science of Our Ancient Maternal Instinct. I'm going to pack this one too. This was gifted to me from my mother-in-law, and I'm very curious about books about motherhood, and so I'm gonna give this one a try eventually. I feel like I never turn toward nonfiction books, but when I do read them, I really enjoy them. This one will be packed. I have 2 more. Okay, the first is The Sun Does Shine by Anthony Ray Hinton. The subtitle is How I Found Life and Freedom on Death Row. I am going to pack this one. Obviously, it is written by one of the people that Bryan Stevenson represents in his lifetime, but primarily in one of the books that he wrote called Just Mercy. And so I want to hear the story from the perspective of the man who was incarcerated. So I'll pack this one. And lastly, on the nonfiction shelves, I have The Anxious Generation, How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness by Jonathan Haidt. I am definitely packing this one. Technology plays a huge part in my life, and I want to make sure that my children have technology in their life, but in a healthy way. So I'm going to pack this one and hopefully read it very soon. All right, next up we need to go down here to my classics shelves. So let's rearrange and I'll be right back.
What's this condition? Some conviction, it's hard to tell. Call it affliction or addiction, some call it hell.
Here we are. I've got my classics. It's kind of a small section of classics that I haven't read, so let's just go through them as quick as we can. The first is Mother Night by Kurt Vonnegut. I want to keep this one. I have liked books written by Kurt Vonnegut in the past, so I will pack this one. Next up is The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I'm going to pass on this one. However, I think this is my husband's book, so I'm going to see if he wants to keep it. Next up, I have I Know Why the Caged Birds Sing. No, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. I've never read anything by Maya Angelou, and I really want to, so I am going to pack this one. Then I have The Tempest by William Shakespeare, and I really have no desire to read this one, so I'm going to pass on this one. Again, though, this might be my husband's copy, so I'm going to see if he wants it. John Steinbeck, East of Eden. This is one I really would like to read. It is the classic of all classics, I feel, and I am pretty certain I will enjoy it. I really liked Grapes of Wrath, written by John Steinbeck, and so hopefully East of Eden will work for me too. Next up, we have Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I would love to read this one. I am disappointed in myself that I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to pack this one for sure. The next two I will probably get some backlash from, but I just have never agreed, or not agreed with, but just never really enjoyed reading books by Toni Morrison. Please don't hate me. We all have different reading tastes, and her books are too slow for me. While the concepts are very beautiful and the writing is beautiful, I just don't enjoy my time with them, and that's what reading is for me. It's an escape. I need to enjoy what I'm reading. So I am going to pass on Sula and Song of Solomon. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. We're passing. Les Mis by Victor Hugo. Will I ever read this one? Maybe not. But am I going to pack it? Yes, even though it's a brick. It would be a goal of mine in my lifetime to read this book. I was a French minor in college, and I feel like it's just both a French classic and a classic in general that I really should read it. I know I said I wasn't going to should on myself, but this is one that I feel okay shitting on myself with because it's Les Mis. So I'm going to try it. And I've also heard that people who have read this have like skipped through some chunks and still say that they have read it. And I might do that too. I might take that approach. But yeah, I'm keeping this one. I want it on my shelves. A Lesson Before Dying by Ernest J. Gaines. I'm going to keep this one. I'll pack it. I feel like it will just have some really great messages about things to do before dying, things to learn about, and like how you should interact with people in your life. So yeah, I'm going to pack this one. Then we have Blindness. Whoop, sorry, books. Then we have Blindness by Jose Saramago. I'm going to keep this one. It was gifted to me from my dad, and I just want to give it a try. The synopsis is so intriguing. A city is hit by an epidemic of white blindness, which spares no one. Authorities confine the blind to an empty mental hospital, but there the criminal element holds everyone captive, stealing food rations and assaulting women. There is one eyewitness to this nightmare who guides 7 strangers through the barren streets, and the procession becomes as uncanny as the surroundings are harrowing. a magnificent parable of loss and disorientation, and a vivid evocation of the horrors of the 20th century. Blindness is a powerful portrayal of man's worst appetites and weaknesses, and man's ultimately exhilarating spirit. Yeah, again, I think this will be good for today. We've got 2 left. The first is Pilgrim at Tinker Creek by Annie Dillard. This is another one I'm shitting myself on. I want to at least give it a try. I probably would have like tried a chapter of this if I were doing that section, that portion of the pack it or pass it, but I'm not with these. I don't know why. I'm just running out of time, actually. That's why. So I am going to keep this one. It's also just like, I think it's very pretty, classic looking. So I'm going to keep it. And lastly, we have Until They Bring the Streetcars Back by Stanley Gordon West. It's kind of a shame that I haven't read this yet. He's a Minnesota author. This is a classic in Minnesota history. And so I am going to pack it with little Mabel here helping me out. Okay, I want to run some numbers quickly. While I count, do you want to talk to them? They liked you last time. You talk.
Hey. You had this. See? Put my cars together. And this is my fluffy. So you are nuts. You. Me.
Said there's something worth having beyond this place.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, we're back. So for the nonfiction books, I had 20 on the shelves at the start. I am packing 16, which means I am passing on 4. And for the classics, I had 13 originally. I am packing 9 and passing on 4. So we are getting rid of 8 books total for this episode. That feels good. Thanks. Stay tuned for next episode. I don't know what order is going to come in next. So could be sci-fi and fantasy. It could be middle grade and YA. Who knows? Stay tuned and you'll find out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.